All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about one of the biggest, if not the biggest, leverage points for any founder or creator out there today. I'm talking about how you can take one single great piece of content and, with a little help from AI, spin it into an entire marketing campaign. This is all about working smarter, not harder.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? Because it should. This is what we call the content treadmill, and it is absolutely exhausting. You pour all this time and energy into what you think is a masterpiece. You hit publish, and then, well, crickets. The return you get for all that effort feels just crushingly low, and that pressure to create the next thing, it's always there. Honestly, it's a recipe for burnout.
So here's the thing. That feeling? It comes from a really fundamental mistake. See, most of us treat a piece of content like a blog post as this finished, one-and-done product. We launch it, and we just move on. But that very mindset is exactly what keeps us stuck on that treadmill, and it's what's limiting our reach and our impact.
But what if we just flipped that script completely? What if that big blog post wasn't the final product, but the raw material, the very beginning of a whole content ecosystem? This is the paradigm shift we're talking about. You're not just creating a single post, you're creating a quarry of valuable ideas that you can mine for weeks, maybe even months.
We call this the 1 to 12 multiplier, and it's really a core growth hacking principle, right? It's about building engines that drive growth for you, instead of you having to manually push the boulder up the hill every single day. This isn't just some clever trick, it's a real, systematic approach to marketing.
Now, this right here, this is why this whole strategy is so critical. Think about it. If you only write blog posts, you might only be talking to, maybe 20% of your potential audience. So where's the other 80%? Well, they're watching videos, they're scrolling through social media, they're listening to podcasts. Repurposing is how you reach them, all using that same core message you already created. Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get into the weeds, the step-by-step playbook. This is a process you can use over and over again, every single time you create a big piece of cornerstone content.
So it really breaks down into 4 pretty simple steps. First, you have to start with a high-quality post. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out. It's true here. Second, you boil it down to its single core idea. Third, and this is where the magic happens, you get AI to create strategic briefs for all your different channels. And then finally, you use those briefs to generate the actual content itself.
And this is the master prompt. See, you're not just telling the AI to summarize your article. No, you're giving it a role, a whole job description. You're basically turning it into your own personal content strategist. You just feed it your blog post, that core narrative we talked about, and it does the heavy lifting of figuring out exactly how to adapt it for every single platform.
And the output? It's brilliant. The AI doesn't just spit out a post, it thinks like a real strategist. It knows for LinkedIn, you gotta be professional. It creates a powerful hook, it figures out the key points to hit, and it even suggests a call to action. It literally creates the perfect recipe for you to follow.
And now, using that brief, you can see how the AI generates a post that is almost ready to go live. It's conversational, it tells a little story, and it delivers actual value. Your job at this point is just to read it over, sprinkle in your personal voice, and hit schedule. That's it.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it really mean for you? Let's talk about the tangible impact on the things that matter most, your time and your money. Because the difference here is, well, it's pretty staggering.
Okay, just look at this breakdown. Manually creating one good blog post can easily take a full 40-hour work week. But repurposing it with this AI system, we're talking about 3 hours to get 12 different assets. 12. And if you were to hire an agency to do this for you, you're looking at $5,000, maybe $15,000. With AI, it's around $100 for the tools. The ROI here is it's undeniable.
So what tools do you actually need to pull all this off? Well, it's a surprisingly simple and affordable stack that can power this entire workflow from start to finish.
First, you need a powerful AI assistant like Claude or ChatGPT to act as your strategist. For video, tools like NotebookLM are absolutely fantastic for taking your written post and helping you structure a really compelling script. From there, you've got things like Clip for pulling out those viral-worthy moments from longer videos, Canva for all your visuals, and then a scheduler like Buffer to put the whole thing on autopilot.
Now, it's really important to be honest here. This is not some magic set it and forget it button. AI is a leverage tool. It gets you about 80% of the way there, right? It handles the structure, the bulk of the writing, but that final 20%, that has to come from you. That's your unique insights, your voice, your personality. That's the stuff that makes it authentic.
So let's zoom back out for a second. This repurposing playbook is incredibly powerful on its own, but it's most effective when it's just one part of a bigger, more coherent system for growing your business.
So remember, this whole strategy is just one piece of the puzzle. A complete system connects all these plays together, taking you from validating an idea to building the product to marketing it and finally scaling the whole thing with automation. The key is using AI at every single stage of that journey.
So, if you're ready to stop just piecing together random tactics and you want to start using a complete, proven system for building with AI, you can find the full class right at the URL on your screen, aiforfounders.io/class.
And I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What could you build? Who could you talk to? What part of your business could you finally focus on if you could get back 37 hours every single time you created a piece of content? The possibilities, I think you'll find, are pretty exciting.